And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Ooh, baby. Well. The countdown is sure fun when we get here. Welcome to 100 Watts and a Wire. My name is Christian. My call sign's Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel. And people were like, so many new people flood to the hobby. And I better say this or you get in trouble. The service. Because you got to say that too, or Anywho, I mean, for over a century, ham radio, we also call it ham radio, we've contributed significantly to the advancement of technology. Oh man, you go back to the television and the computer and radio itself, Tesla, names like that. It's not just a fancy car you plug in at the grocery market, hon. That was a real man, wasn't he, Scotty?
It was. It's amazing the amount of people that do not know that these days.
Tesla was the man. He was the man. For me, as that goes, I don't want to start any trouble. I know there's a lot of great people. Hertz was there. Marconi was good. Of course, Samuel Morse. They all put a foundation down. And today, operators around the world are enjoying this great technology. Service, hobby, whatever. Nanu. We'll be giving one away a little bit later. Scotty and I bought a company. We didn't talk about this on the podcast, but with some of the extra residual money that comes out of 100 Watts and a Wire, we spun this off into a company. And essentially what happened was we were kind of hanging out at the, I don't know, was it Jamestown? What was it,
Jamestown Mall or the Towson Town Center?
Towson Town Center, and a guy on the second floor opened up his trunk, and he had a bunch of really interesting technology. What is that? I don't know, man. I need more stuff like a hole in the head. He said, I'll sell you the whole company. So we put our quarters together and came up with a box of Nanu 5, what were they, the 101 Alpha? Something. I can't remember what they were called.
All I know is that we refine them into the HD versions, and that's what...
The Alpha HD version. They have a 1-pixel camera when we got it, now 3 pixels. They take about an image the size of a stamp. If you need that, maybe you need that for a favicon on your website. I don't know, Absolutely. But we give those away during the Sunday evening net. You're welcome to join us for live coverage. Welcome to anybody who's come by. Scotty is here. He is KC3BXN. And our boy Steve, who I talked to today, he's back in Kansas. He's helping the family get situated in a new home and getting some things sorted out. All those fancy words for saying that son of a bitch is out at the pool sipping on the, what is it, the Mai Tai, the Moi Tai, or the Boy Toy?
Sipping on a Mai Tai, one of those fancy umbrella drinks. And
he's doing that in his fancy clothes and hanging out, and he's enjoying his family, and that's what's supposed to be going on. It is 4th of July weekend, not quite the 4th of July, but perhaps when you're listening or what have you, it's coming. It's today, or it was yesterday. Who knows when you listen to this, friends? But it is 4th of July weekend. Scotty, any plans for you? What do you have? Anything that you do? You got traditions for Field Day. You got all these things. What do you do on the 4th?
4th of July, last few years been spent at my friend Peter's house, who lives in Catonsville, which is the town between Ellicott City and Baltimore. And Kelly and I will be heading over to his place. She's working a little bit tomorrow. I'm actually working a little bit tomorrow as well. And after that, we're gonna head over for a quick burger and catch some fireworks, because Catonsville launches them pretty much on the other side of the fence where his yard is. So it'll be fun.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, cool deal. I think we'll be staying home. This whole weekend has been a garden homesteading type of thing, and we have this situation. Last year, my wife grew tomatoes. You know, everybody loves a good tomato sandwich, or put whatever you want on it, but a tomato homegrown, man, it's hard to beat. Anyway, she made some stuff. She started growing them from seed trays, right? And would you know it, every one of these tomatoes came up last year. I think it was like 70, let's just say 73, because that's fitting for this podcast. So we had tomatoes all over the place. I mean, they're volunteers this year. So now we've got like 30. I counted 30. I staked 30.
Dang.
Hands are all cut up and dirty, but I smell like a tomato plant, which isn't too bad. But I showered and everything. It's just
it is a unique smell.
Not too bad. I mean,
tomato plant.
Between the staking, cut the stakes, put them in the ground, and pruned and twined them up. Boy, my hands are feeling a little bit like Fred Sanford's right now. A little bit of the arthritis. Woo! Anywho, that's what's going on. Tomorrow, I think I'll get together with the in-laws and hang out with everybody here, my girls, and usually some Yankee doodle around town is blasting them off. One time last year, the year before, wouldn't you know, I got a dentist lives around here. It's kind of good to have that in your neighborhood. He's not my dentist, at least at this point. Anyway, he decided he was going to go shoot off some of these, bottle rockets or whatever. So we're walking down the road. The bottle tips over and he launches one at my girls. Like he's shooting across. They're coming across the road. I'm like, yo, I had to come up there and regulate. I was like, look, unless you want to do a whole new mouth of your own dental work, don't be shooting rockets off at my girls. Good Lord, man. But his bottle tipped over, something. He had a little janky bottle. He was just, and then pop. But this one fell over, shot it toward the road. Wow. So, yeah, I haven't really communicated with him since. I was a little annoyed by that, but I will wave. And he does have a skill set that might come in handy as we move along in our community.
Sure.
A lot of folks were chiming in on some of the things that they were doing for Field Day. I was curious. I always like to take and learn a lesson. Now, I can't say, but I will ask you, did you learn anything, Scotty? Was there anything that once you broke down, you were like, could have done that differently?
Yeah. So I did learn that I should probably use a separate piece of coax to attach my choke ballon to my dipole. I had one of those little couplers. It's just like a male to male or female to female coupler right up to the antenna. No little separate piece of coax. And trying to get it out of the tree after the fact, it got snagged in an unpleasant way. And it took quite a doing to get it down. And I also learned that antennas at 75 feet kick some serious butt. Yeah.
You were sounding awesome, and there is a little bit of video and audio, but the audio wasn't even piped in. We did a live stream on one of the nights, Saturday night, I think. You'll find it on the YouTube channel if you're curious, but Scotty was dragging them all over the place, and, it's hard to hold down a frequency on Field Day. We talked about this, especially with 100 watts. They went to the, changing it up, how many watts you can put out. And, he was doing it, man. That was really high up there. So I wanted to go and ask our community if there was anything that they learned. Put that out there. Top 33 answers on the board. Now, Adam says, my lesson, whatever amount of coax you think you need, you are wrong. Bring more. That's November 0, Zulu, India, Bravo. You're 5'9".
Especially when you get your antenna up to 75 feet and you're like, oh, damn, I don't even know if this is going to reach the radio anymore.
I get that thing where I don't know if I have enough. I'm getting redundant. I don't think I need more than portable. When I'm out portable. Now, what you were doing, you were way up there, dude. That was something else. And luckily you had what you need.
Way higher than I had anticipated.
I don't think I would have run out with 100 feet of coax on Field Day. So I would have been, with your setup, if your brother would have been like, here, Christian, try this, man. Try this arborist launch. And I was like, oh, man, I don't have enough coax. And I'd have been like, Adam here. So that's a good point. I used to bring way too much of everything, and then I kind of pared it down, and I carry about 50 feet. What do you guys? You guys are hanging out here, our podcast listening audience, members of the community. How much coax do you bring with you? Put it in the chat right now, and we'll keep an eye on things like that. Bruce says, always bring electric contact cleaner to clear the sand, dirt, and grime from PL 259s and threaded contacts. Any issues with dirty stuff, Scotty, this time around?
No, everything works as expected. And from the single antenna switch to all my PL 259 connections, and yeah, no issues this time. I have had issues in the past, but not this time around.
Yeah, I've had issues here at home. I've had issues, and it's a sick feeling, man. It's a sick feeling when you've got a problem and maybe you don't have enough, to get you out of it. And I didn't take out to the old wooden shed all my, even to replace it, so that was something I just took for granted. So I guess that's something that we all do. Let's see. John says, if you want something done right, do it yourself, but teach others how to do it right. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It sounds like he's a little bent on that one. Like he may have said, like Charlie, you go over there and do that, hook up that, and get everything going. And
sounds
then
like a club issue.
Yeah, it sounds like a little bit of do it yourself. You want to do it yourself. Damn it. My lawn. Let's see. Rex says, it's always the busiest week of my year, and I'm unlikely to be able to participate. Rex is a farmer, so he's out there getting his on. But he did, in the Discord, I believe, post a photo of him doing some stuff from his truck.
He sure did.
Randy's November Charlie 4, Romeo Tango. He says, I learned this the hard way. When you apply bug spray to every bit of exposed skin surface, the mosquitoes will use that small lens-shaped opening at the back of your hat. And he shared a picture where he's, the hat where it's the ball cap. He said I guess he didn't spray that area. Well, all should get you for sun, too. Scotty wouldn't know about this because he's got a full head of hair. But I've been burned on the ears and the back of my head, just where he's talking about, too. I know exactly what he's talking about. Let's see, our brother Peter, a Polish brother Peter, he's up in Chicago area. He says, do not let Windows update your laptop the week before field day because it will mess with your settings. Have a backup radio, laptop, antennas, and all the connectors for them all. Have a backup radio, laptop, antennas, and all the connectors. So we're talking about redundancy. This guy's got a whole second station. Redundancy. Ooh, he also put up long pants to keep the mosquitoes and biting flies away. Do you guys know what no-see-ums are? The no-see-um?
No-see-um netting?
You don't no-see them and they bite you. They look like little specks of pepper. I think they call them no-see-ums. No-see-ums. They're like, they call them jiggers also, too, out here in the high grass. We don't have that much of that sort of stuff, but people out here in Missouri will call them jiggers, whatever's getting you in the high grass type of thing. Let's see what Steven says. His first field day this year, he was disappointed. I said, dude, what is the problem now? I had to respond. Let's hear about it. And he said it's a delicate matter. He doesn't want to disparage anyone. The local club guys put in a lot of work on this, but I guess it really wasn't what I anticipated. The venue was dark, old sportsman club filled with very sweaty old men, including me. Just getting there down a long dirt road certainly wasn't inviting. I guess the guys seemed to be very serious and intense, lots of emphasis on scores, etc. It just wasn't inviting or fun. After listening to your podcast from Sunday, I found Scotty's approach much more to my liking. So, well, there you go. Maybe you helped him decide what he wants to do next year. You got a family thing. It's hard to beat the family thing. You guys can do have a good time together. I guess driving down an old, scary road, I mean, he makes it sound wonderful. You go down an old, dark road and hang out with a bunch of old, sweaty men. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. And then, it doesn't sound like they're having, if there wasn't like a potluck or doing some grilling. And it seemed like the emphasis was just very overly competitive and contest mindset, and I wouldn't have enjoyed that much myself.
Sounds like the Amityville Horror. That's what it sounds like to me. Good grief. It sounds crazy. Let's see. I made a real rookie mistake, says Jeff. Bought a new 2-meter antenna for my satellite station. Didn't test it before the show. Had infinite SWR. Managed to work 3 stations on a bird with 70-centimeter uplink. Also got trapped in a building by a skunk at 1 a.m. But that's a story for another time.
So my station is a 1 Sierra.
I'm trapped.
It's skunked.
That's Kilo Alpha 1 Delta Bravo Echo. You're 5'9" with skunk tail.
Hey, you need to send him some tomato juice.
Yeah, that's what he needs. Isn't that what they put on? Yeah, from all my tomatoes. He'll get you some tomatoes. Yeah, or urinate on yourself or the skunk. That might work. I don't know. You might have already done part of that. Try to do it on him this time.
It's a moot point.
Yeah, I mean, part of it you wasted on yourself. Oh, Lord, help us. Jamie says, what did he says? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. He's got a couple of side stories going on here. Let's see what David says. As the old saying goes, life is what happens while you're making other plans. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I know John Lennon wrote that. I don't know if he created that, but he definitely put that in. I think that was on a Double Fantasy record, the last one before he was killed in 1980. Sorry. I worked in around music a little bit. But anyway, no matter what you plan to prepare to improvise, change, and repair. November 2, Oscar Alpha, you're 5'9". You know, I think that's a shortcoming on my rig, man. I didn't take anything to remake a connector. You know, I had some stuff laying around. I guess I could have sorted it out, but I like to try to treat it like I'm nowhere near home. You know what I mean? And you literally were not near home, so maybe you had a better plan.
I had a plan to help my brother with some wiring on his tractor. So I was more prepared for electrical repairs than usual. I had my full electrical toolbox with a soldering iron and the whole 9 yards with me, which I typically obviously I don't travel with that all the time. So I was overly prepared for repairs. Of course, didn't need any, so it was again a moot point.
It's good though. I wasn't ready. I didn't need him either. But Ian, our friend Ian, he's a November Victor 4 Charlie. He says invite kids, lots of kids. It sounds a little wrong. We run a radio merit badge workshop for the Scouts at our field day on Saturday mornings. I've either run it or helped teach it for about 12 years now. I got one scout interested in getting licensed over these years, it was worth the effort. So that's cool, man. I think if you show the kids what you can do, and maybe show them early before they can get the cell phones, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's kind of cool. And good luck finding somebody to talk to. Most people will talk to young people, though, just fine. Pretty cool idea here. I can't show you visually, but he says, Cameron says, to dispense zip ties, to cut a hole in the bag in the middle and pull them out from the middle instead of cutting the top or the bottom, because that way you won't ever spill all your zip ties again.
Genius.
I think that's great. That's cool. I never thought of that.
A little life hack sort of thing there.
Totally works, man. That's good. You're 5'9" for that. Woo! Let's see, John. I learned to test hooking up and set up ahead of time. I had it all planned out, but bought some cheap coax cables. Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Found out that they are all not created equal and had issues getting a good connection. Had a hodgepodge, a few shorter cables together with a barrel connector, which is actually fine. I mean, you can do that with barrel connectors, all right. You're not going to lose. I don't know what the other cables are looking like there, but he says he's going to prepare better next year. He's AC2 JK. Have you ever had to cobble coax together, Scotty?
Yeah, on several times on some POTA activations when I was more regular with that. And just happen to have, I usually carry when I go out in the field for field day, or when I used to do a lot more parks on the air, a little Tupperware with various adapters, BNC to 239, 259, and I've had to and a couple jumper cables for my my tuners, and so just happened to have this one cable that I carry around with me all the time. I never used it, but it's got a BNCs on both sides. It's about 2 feet long, and ended up having to make up some cobble together some cables there with the box of adapters in that cable to get through the day. So
James is here.
One time with with a piece of electrical tape, the solder point on the tip when one of my cables came loose, and so I had to I pulled the cable a certain way so that the strands were touching the center pin, and then taped it to hold it in place to get through the rest of it. That was the sketchiest one.
That does sound pretty sketchy, but sounds like it worked. Maybe a little lossy. I don't know.
A little bit.
James is here in our chat. He says he missed field day this year due to work. This year was the same, but I was able to participate 1H and focused on my hour 73 skills by getting better at PSK 31. Good for you.
Nice.
And that just reminds me that 100 Watts in a Wire is brought to you in part by the Hour 73 podcast. Brand new. I hope you all will check it out, friends. Hour 73 looks beyond the first 72 hours of preparedness to explore self-reliance as a lifestyle. Podcast focuses on community, information, and practical skills. Check it out and subscribe wherever you get podcasts or visit hour73.com for more information. And I must thank all of our brothers and sisters, mostly brothers, because I don't know if we even have a lady that listens here. Sometimes Rosa is around. I think she might listen. But thank you to everybody who understands that communications is a big part of any preparedness plan. It's good to be able to make contacts and know how that all works. Hour 73 is not a podcast about specifically amateur radio, but of course communications is involved in that. So let's take a look at what's going on with the events. You want different music now? You want to be funky?
Well, funky's fine. Let's keep it.
Okay.
Let's keep it funky.
Keep it funky.
now.
Scotty's here to tell us a little bit more about some of the events that are going to be happening. What's up?
July 9th and 10th, 2022, the IARU HF World Championship is happening next weekend, July 9 and 10, from 1200 Zulu Saturday the 9th to 1200 Zulu the Sunday the 10th, so 24 hours there. What else we got happening? Oh, this is a fun one I'm going to try to work this week, I hope, on July 3rd through the 9th, so it's still going on through most of the week. It's a Whiskey Rebellion special event station. W3R will be operating in conjunction with the Whiskey Rebellion Festival, which they hold in Washington, Pennsylvania. And so a cool little special event station there with a nice certificate on a parchment style looking paper. It looks pretty cool. You can get some more information about that at qrz.com/Whiskey3 Romeo. And of course, the ever popular 13 Colonies event is currently in action and going through till July 8th at 400 hours UTC. So 8 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday, we'll wrap it up. And I only have a handful of the stations so far. So I'm looking forward to getting into some of that after the net this evening.
I got my list.
Oh,
and the list is here, but there is no contacts at this juncture. I think I've just been working on the homestead all weekend, and
don't you know any other goddamn tune?
Sorry, I have to do the work because we need the food, Chris. We need the food, right? Come on now. Isn't that right, fellas?
Yes, that's right, yes.
Yes.
And my brothers from 75-meter phone will keep me good with all that. I want to share some more of these tips and things that maybe now we gave you the tip a little earlier. Now we're going to give you the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I know that didn't sound right, Sherry. Sorry about that. Let's see what else is going on here, and then we will talk about 13 Colonies is one of many people's favorite. Okay, John says I learned to test hooking up.
I wish I could have learned to test that out ahead of time.
So, okay. Thank you. Rick says, take the time to do a dry run. Okay. Paul says, make sure that you're actually hooked up to the antenna on the rotor and not the stationary antenna when trying to rotate the antenna. So there's a good one. I don't know. There's probably a good way to mark these things, but there's so many hands when you're doing, well, he didn't say he was out with a club. So, the other guys sound like they were in a special kind of club where they were hooking up, air quote, things. But yeah, it's getting kind of weird. Paul says, have the grill level. So when you're making egg and cheese Sammys, the eggs don't run on one side. Critical.
That's
good.
That's some pro level stuff right there.
Whiskey
Pro
One.
level insights.
India Papa, you're 5'9". Let's see. Doug is here. He said he wanted to try something new. He did the antenna that went up on the kite. He posted a short video of that. I think he was at the beach doing like a POTA.
Yeah, I saw some tell of that on the Discord. That was pretty cool.
Now, do we feel like we wouldn't have enough wind? I mean, now look, maybe in Maryland, where my mom is, in Lewis, Delaware, you're near the beach, you're getting some stuff. Her house wouldn't be good for this. They've got a lot of pine trees down in that area. So I use those for my antennas when I do go there. But, I mean, if you're on the beach, man, I remember going to Ocean City, hon. We'd be down there watching it on the boardwalk, getting some of those French fries and vinegars on them.
Some thrashers.
They would have thrashers, right? Not a sponsor. I wish they were, though. They'd be perfect, man. Be perfect. Thrashers fries with vinegar on it, tear you in half, but they taste good. When you go to the beach, I guess it's the same in Jersey or wherever you may go. I mean, you got nice wind and it's just constant. It seems like it's all day interrupted. But Doug was up there. He's KB8M, and he had about 135 to 140 feet of wire out.
Nice.
SWR was 2-to-1 on 40. And he said his 891 worked well. He made a lot of contacts in the U.S. and Canada. All in all, great success. So there you go, man. I would like to try that. I know Pastor Joe has mentioned doing that in the past. He's near a beach. It would be perfect. He's always posting weird pictures of his feet on Discord. So maybe this time we'll give him an incentive to look up there at the kite. But yeah, I don't know how well it would work for me here, but I would try it, man. And that's an end-fed scenario there. And like Steve and I talked about on the show, and I don't know about you. I know, Scotty, you've run something like that before, but end-feds are such a bit of a mystery to me because I haven't really played with it much, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But I'm willing to try.
They're fun antennas.
And they seem to work. A few years ago, I think they are like one of the hotter things now. It's like a trendy antenna today. When I got back in, I mean, it's been, I guess, 10 years now for me, licensed. But around 2015, I finally got the HF. And if you mentioned an end-fed in certain circles, man, they were really crapped on. They were just like, man. I was like, oh, really? Like, really, man? It just sounds like a good idea. No. Compromise, and then you put more time in and you realize that almost everything you do is a compromise.
Yeah.
Unless you're up like up in the sky like you were, and then you're singing. You were singing. Let's see. Where should we go now? I guess we can talk about
ham kites. I like that. I haven't done that either.
I want to say hello to some friends that have come by. You're always welcome Sundays at 6 o'clock to join us as we record live. It brings engagement, and you can talk about different topics. You put a Q in front of your question, drop it into the chat, and we can talk about that. Lots of our friends here tonight are talking about 13 Colonies. Hello to Pastor Joe, who's here. Stephen is here as well. WW5V, you're 5'9". Some other friends real quick to mention for coming. James and Big Ben is here. They're out there looking around for all their 13 colonies. Y'all should be paying attention to me and Scotty because every word we say is like, super important.
If the FCC knew you were doing drugs on the air, shut us down.
Ow. Yeah. Hello to Ham Radio Portable. Nice to see you here. Thanks for coming by. We've got DJ holding it down in the great Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
Some other fun. Kyle is here as well. Hello to Kyle. John
Thanks.
is here. So good to see you. And I think that's probably Ishmael is here as well. Caden, he stopped in. He says, this is the first time I'll be attending the live broadcast. Very exciting. He's Kilo 5, Kilo Golf Charlie. Sorry we have let you down. In 30 minutes, we have changed your perceptions of what this should be. But we appreciate you anyway. And Don is here. Don is here as well, one of our net control operators. You can hear him on Sunday nights, usually on 20 meters during the 100 watts and wire Sunday evening net. So should we talk about this? We can talk about it for a little while. We can even take some calls in the Discord too. I mainly wanted to share with you on this episode some of the tips and tricks and whatever may happen. People learn a little bit each time they set up portable, and I think it's a great time with Field Day to do that. Absolutely. So what I can do is, look, I can go to Discord. We can do a little Discord thing. If you want to call into the show tonight, go to the live show area, go and find the green room. We can do more of this later on as we get into our live coverage of the Sunday Evening Net, but I'll keep an eye on that. Now, 13 colonies. I got none. I got 0. When we let us know now, we've put up a little bit of a board. Pastor Joe was responsible for this. He's very good at laying out the guilt. So I'll just say that. I don't know why he's so good at it, but it was actually a good idea to create a channel in the Discord for a temporary channel for 13 colonies. So you'll find it there, lots of spots. Well, this thing kicked off, I guess it was on Friday, and us working stiffs like me and Scotty and the rest of you, unless you're retired. We got to sit there at work and watch these guys drop in. I just need 6 more. Oh, I need 2 more. I just need friends.
It's like it started at 9 a.m. and it's noon, and already Uncle Paul's like, I just need Massachusetts for the clean sweep, including the Euro stations. I'm like, what? I haven't even had my lunch break yet. It's like, come on, man. Save some for the rest of us.
It was really hard to watch the brag board, and I was like, oh no. And it was like Don and Pastor Joe and Paul. I'm like, I'm not even going to come back here. I'm like, I'm not going to come, because it was just like, just need 5, down to 3, 2 o'clock. Just need 1. Just need 1. I'm like, oh man. And I still have what I started with, 0. Absolute 0. But I do have some good work done here out in the field, in between the raindrops, and got some things together with the garden. So that's what I feel. But we should talk about it a little bit, and our friends who have visited with us here today and came for the live show, let us know why you dig 13 colonies. We talked about it a little bit last week with Scotty, and I think I don't know. For me, I got a rise out of, it could have been a sale. I could have been talking about a sale. You know what I mean? I got a rise out of being on the East Coast and having this event happen around me. I felt like, wow, this is really cool. And, I wasn't running. I didn't really know how to do this. Like, I was in Delaware. I was hot property, but I couldn't just kick up and be like, whatever Delaware is. What number are they? K2, I don't know. Somebody
K2E.
K2E? I would have been blowing them up, man, but I don't know. I think it needs to be some official thing. But I was in Delaware, the first town in the first state during 13 colonies. And being on the East Coast, I think on the 4th of July has a special feeling. It's just for me because I'm from there. Maybe I just miss it when I go back. And, 4th of July never really felt like that much to me until I got older and left, that kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you like about 13 colonies.
Well, I mean, I live in one, so that's probably the I was born and raised in one of the 13 colonies, and I actually at least I haven't checked my family tree, but my grandmother told me that that her side of the family runs all the way back to Lord Baltimore himself, George Calvert. So
Wow.
that's what I've been told. I haven't done the 23andMe yet, see if that's true, but that's the family story, word of mouth. And so the black and yellow and red and white flag, and born and raised in Maryland, and the 13 Colonies. Really, when I first came across it, I was like, this has got to be the coolest event ever. I got into it. I discovered it early in my HF days. Amateur radio, and it goes on for a week, and this, I'm trying to break this pile up with all these other people. This is so cool, and I loved it. And I got certificates on my wall. It's the only event that I put the certificate on my wall that I participate in. So, I don't know why.
I may try tomorrow. I thought like maybe, I'm going to say something controversial. I want to say something controversial. I have power. I've got an amp, and I've run this event and others with an amp, and you can really do it quickly with an amp. If you got good conditions, you got a good solid thing. And I mentioned last week on the last episode, I wasn't that impressed running power during the special event. I remember being the 100-watt station. Now I'm going to get on my soapbox and just let it all out. Woo! But I run power. So I run power. I think it's great for the nets. But on a special event, I remember being the 100-watt guy and how you had to play the whole thing differently. And it may be part of why I'm not jumping in it now, because I really want to set up at the old wooden shed, go 100 watts, try it. Last year or the year before, I don't remember which, I blew through them. 100 watts, 1,000 watts, whatever it was on the particular band I was on. And it was like, I think I posted a picture. I looked just like this, but a bunch of check marks next to it. I got it already. I'm ready to go. But I feel like, power doesn't really do it for me. I kind of need a little bit more of a challenge. And I'll tell you why, because you work a little differently when you have 100 watts. Now, Scotty posted a video, and I noticed this. I don't know if other people noticed this. But when you're working with 100 watts, it's about timing. You gotta catch the cadence. And being an audio guy, we may be set up for that. I know a lot of people will do that. If you're working with music, you're working with a lot of audio, voice work, or whatever it may be. You catch the cadence or the rhythm of how this person works. And I noticed from the clip, you held back. You waited and waited, and there was some douchebaggery going on there too, and somebody was doing something. That's kind of traditional.
Knock it off, guys.
Alpha hotels, that kind of thing.
Right.
But I noticed that you waited, you listened, and you waited, and you listened, and on the time that you got it, you got the station you were trying to work, which I think was Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, I guess.
Yeah, it was it was 310. The station was one of the special bonus ones.
You didn't put up a video of you trying 33 times. You put up a video of you listening and waiting and listening and hearing some things going on, and then all of a sudden you called, and it had already, he called QRZ or whatever it was. And there was a pause. Blah, 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 blah. And then you came in later, right? So you already caught the cadence of what he was doing. And he picked you up just like that. Because some stations are getting tired, and it's a big garbled mess. It's just blah, 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 6, blah, 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 be alpha, and it's all this. And then there's a tail, and then there's a spot. You can kind of work that out. And I guess
you can tell the person calling QRZ, they whether they're gonna, some callers will ignore the tail enders, and some of them will pick up nothing but tail enders, and so then everyone starts to tail end, and then you need to learn to then you also learn the cadence of the guy that's calling or the girl that's calling, and then so you work that combination of their pauses. And then how many tail enders do you think there's going to be? And then kind of drop in and see what happens.
You got to work. People work their their microphones a little bit. They try to cut back the bass, add a little bit more treble to their voice to try to cut through the pile up. There's lots of different things you can try to do. And I ask our friends who are with us today, how many of the 13, I guess it's 15 total, how many of the 13 colonies have you bagged already? And I don't know if there's another question with that, but why do you dig this special event? Go ahead and work on that while we're talking. But Scotty's running 100 watts, and I thought to myself, like, and I'm not crapping on people with power. I get it, man. And if you want to bang them out like that and you want to get over with, cool. That's cool, to each their own. But I did it, and I didn't really get as much out of it. And then that was the same year I went out in the shed and I put up the 25-foot or 30-foot dipole. I waited till like the second weekend. You know what I mean? Like I did it all the first weekend or the first 2 days. And next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out. I've still got a whole week, set it up, and slowly started to chip away with 100 watts. And that for me was more fulfilling. I'm not the arbiter of how to operate, but for me, I don't know, a little more of a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
You do you, man. You do you.
But you may feel that, tell me this, Scotty, then, in all fairness, if you had an amp, like that's the thing, not all people, I'm not speaking for you, but when you're wishing for an amp, there are people out there who are like, I can't wait to get an amp. When I get an amp, I'm going to bust that damn pile up. It's going to be like a duck pin. Everybody's going to get out of my way. And so I get it. I get like wanting to power and go, yeah, I'm never going to wait in a stupid ass pile up for 25 minutes again because I've been there.
Excuse me, VIP coming through.
I'm like, move aside and let the man go through. Push him
Backstage
down.
passes. Excuse me, thank you.
Excuse me, I'm with the band. And I get that. And then you should all get your, get your amp if that's what you want, and then try it. And then maybe you'll see that I'm like, it's not that impressive to me anymore. I don't know. So I applaud everybody who's out there doing it. Let us know how many stations that you did get, because it did kick off a couple of nights ago. It runs all week long. I think I may end up pulling another tip. Well, what the hell? I'll give you the whole damn thing. That's what we should do, Scotty. You get the whole thing. It's a discount tonight.
Let me get comfortable here. There we go.
Once all the big guys get out of the way, it makes a little more room, and I always love finding the station that's like Kilo 2 Foxtrot. Nothing. Oh, Kilo 2 Foxtrot. QRZ. Nothing. And then you pick them up. So that's good. You got to go. You got to do your thing.
No,
you called out on
it was the Pulse Point app that we were discussing on the hour 73. It just let me know that there's a structure fire in Elk Ridge, Maryland. So
there you go. Kyle says 13 colonies, 100 watts from Utah is proving to be challenging. I'm enjoying it though. Let's see. Just busted through the rugby scum for Kilo 2 India. That's Mark. I'm not quite sure what that means, but
busted through the rugby scum.
You can see what's happening. Some spots happening on our Discord channel as well. And I better check the. Speaking of Discord.
Oh, right. Joe's in the live room.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hang in there, Joe. I'll come in and see if we can pull you up. All right, I think I'm in there. Hello, Pastor Joe. Try again.
I'm with you.
Oh, there you are.
There he is.
Tell us
what's going on?
Tell us about 13 colonies. You might have to turn down your tubes. The tubes.
Beg your pardon. So to answer the first question, why I love 13 colonies, I pick special events special events based on my interests. So, for instance, a few years ago, it was 50th anniversary of Apollo 11. I'm big into the space program, so I was chasing all the NASA facilities. Johnson Space Center and Huntsville and KSC. Almost all of them have radio clubs because they're all engineers. And this one, I love 13 colonies. I love colonial American history. As Scotty knows, my family goes back in this country to the beginning, literally. I am named after a signer of the Declaration of Independence. That's my family. So I love the thrill of the chase. And all the stuff that you and Scotty were talking about is absolutely true, and it all happens that way. My technique is to hit them fast, hit them hard in the beginning, get them all as quickly as you can. And by the way, I'm not retired. I'm a working stiff too. It just so happens that my day off during the week is Friday. So I'm one of those guys 2 days ago who at 2 o'clock was saying, yes, I have all the colonies. And I actually do have all the colonies and 2 of the special event stations, but I'm missing Great Britain, and he was on there at the beginning of the podcast and was taking stations by number, and people were not playing well, and so he said, okay, fine, I'm going to go to FT8 and CW, and he pulled the plug on his single sideband because people couldn't follow directions. So that was that. Now I'm actually trying to fill out a second log sheet. Sorry, I'm greedy. Almost all of my contacts on Friday were 40 meters, so now I'm trying to get stations on anything but. And a lot of it's the luck of the draw. Scotty laid it out really well, the tail enders and so forth and so on. And just a quick story, I think it was last year, there was one station I really needed. I think it was New Jersey, which is really hard for me to get because he's close. He QS wide over to 80 meters, and the moment I saw that spot, I was the first station to hit him after the spot, so I got him real good. So, yeah, I love 13 colonies. It's an awful lot of fun. Back to you, Christian.
You have the perfect face for radio.
Hey, let me ask you, Pastor Joe, when you were saying not playing nicely, for some of our friends who are just joining the community, the amateur radio community as a whole, what do you mean not playing nicely?
Yeah, so these pileups are really, really heavy, and people were not calling in according to numbers. So I happened to pick him up when he was on zeros. I'm a 2, so it wasn't too long a wait, and people were calling no matter what their call sign was. They were not paying attention to the fact that he was calling by number, and whether they were doing that because, there's a number of reasons. It could be that they didn't know, or it could be they didn't care. But unfortunately, it just wasn't working out, which is really too bad because I felt they actually had a shot at it because he was managing it pretty well, and the pileup was cut down, so I actually had a shot at it. But people were calling in no matter what their calling region, and it's too bad. So that happens. Oh, and then the people tuning up on frequency.
Oh,
we could talk about that too. Yeah. Hey, urge to kill.
Pastor Joe, are you allowed to say the word douchebaggery?
In what context, Christian?
Well,
in this contest, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And somebody caught me on the Discord with another descriptive word that I did not fully spell out, but that was earlier today. But anyway,
I'll have to hunt that down. I haven't been on Discord much today.
So your best advice for 100-watt stations trying to bang it out, you like to go in early? In terms of trying to get in early, I think you meant by the day and the start of the event. When you're calling, and I guess situations change and things are different sometimes, but with a 100-watt station, what are one of your tricks? What's one trick that Pastor Joe uses to try to get in?
Persistence. And that's how I got the France station. I called for an hour. And, if it's something that you really want, you got to just keep calling and calling and calling. And by the way, it's 100 watts in a wire. It's an end fed up in the trees. So, persistence. And like I say, I front load it. I try to get in there very, very early in the event because what happens is later in the week, people go, oh my goodness, I need to get some stations. And so it's even worse, I think.
So what do you need now? You mentioned it, but
all I need is the Great Britain bonus station, the GV13 COL. So the good thing is that the pressure is off because I've gotten everybody else, and we still have what's today the 3rd, and it goes till the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 3 or 4 days. So that helps.
What are you doing for the 4th? Anything special?
No, I'm waiting for an invite. One of you guys with a swimming pool. I've been keeping track. So the local township, what they do is they have a reading of the Declaration of Independence every 4th at 9 a.m. The Declaration is delivered to Mr. Jefferson by a guy on a Harley.
As
which
it
is a lot of
was.
fun.
Yeah, just natural. That's how it was.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The true meaning of horsepower, right?
Sure.
And so the way it works is when you show up, they give you a line of the Declaration. So it's crowdsourced, if you will. So everybody gets a line. And so what I do, they know I'm coming, and so they save my family name for me. They save Joseph Hughes for me. So it's really special.
So
that's what we're doing in the morning, and I'm waiting for a swimming pool in the afternoon.
So what was your family member? Was that a Hughes that signed the Declaration?
Yes, yeah, Joseph Hughes. He had no children, so I'm not a direct descendant, but that is my family. I'm descended from his uncle. And my middle name is Ellicott, as in Ellicott City, and that's why I was down there a few weeks ago. And it turned out, I didn't know this, but I am actually directly descended from one of the 3 brothers that founded the city. So that was very cool.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
Could you
there's
turn
a lot
that
of
racket down?
lot of
I'm trying to iron in here.
Oh, sorry. Got living in the row home now. I gotta turn it down. Thank you,
a
Pastor Joe.
lot of history.
We'll talk more about that too, over a bag of gummies and I don't know, some other good stuff. So hopefully we'll catch up with you on the Sunday evening net. Have a great night.
Yep. I'll be around. I'll be around for a little while, and then I'm going to head out for fireworks.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for you. Thank you, Pastor Joe, checking in tonight live from. Where's he in Freehold? Freehold, New Jersey. Yeah, in New Jersey. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. KC, what is it? K2C is on right now. Apparently, Mark says it's an S show right now. So we're getting a lot of check-ins.
An S show.
An S show. Well, check us out on the Discord if you like, and we'll put the posts down there. Spot them as we can see them, and all that sort of stuff. What else did we miss, Scotty? Did we miss anything for this week? We've covered a lot of field day jibbery jabberies. That means what I should do is turn on the radio. Maybe we can hear. Somebody spot me up here, and then the folks at home can.
Hey Mark, what Kilo 2 Charlie? What frequency? Is the S show happening?
We want to hear. Maybe we can hear some bad behavior. So put that frequency up there, and we'll check it out. Not sure where he is, but there's actually room this evening. And while we do that, I want to let you know that if you're looking for a power solution, girl, check out BioNO Power, offering the best lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. Visit bionopower.com. That's BIOENNO power.com. Where's that frequency at? Did they give it to us? Or are we going to have old Scotty play us out here? Stay tuned.
I'm not seeing it. Don mentions he'll be on 14243 as of now for the net. So got that frequency, but that's the only one I see in the chat. Oh, well, there goes Mark. 72275.
All right,
7.5.
All right, let's see what we can hear. For our podcast listeners, thank you, Scotty, for the tunes. Let's see. Oh, I said.
Oh my.
So let's hear. This is what an S show, according to some of our friends, are saying. Why am I? What? Oh, this is great. I'm doing it on purpose, but I guess I pushed a button and it just wants to play us home.
That's a loop.
I'll fix it. Let's listen to the radio real quick. And after Sunday, after the show, we cover the Sunday evening net. All right, got it.
Recognizing we don't have to change our calls any longer, so you may have a Kilo 3, but you're in New England somewhere.
So as we listen to this out, I will say thank you to our podcast listeners, all our supporters. We appreciate you. We will be together next weekend. Thank you to Scotty for hanging out. Thanks for everybody who came by tonight. We will listen to this as we head on out tonight. And 73, have a great week and a safe 4th of July. 73, Scotty.
7-3, Christian.
And we'll listen to the S Show, as it's called. Must be fantastic, the S Show. 7-3, everybody.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsinawire.com.